In, we're logging in. We are live. We are ready to play some Key of C strummers today. We are going to be getting all of our sheet music, and you should be getting all of your sheet music from jollyrogerukulele.com. I am running over there right now to post the link for today and get everybody rolling in here that's going to come to class today. And should be a pure delight. If you have not joined us before, we are in week number 1 of Intro to Ukulele. And in addition to that, we also have book 2 songs this week. We've added in Alavetta, and we've also are playing, what's the other one we're playing? Oh, After the Ball. Beautiful tunes. Okay. And so we'll be taking a little bit of time to review those today as well. And we're going to have a lovely day of ukulele. I'm going to get everything fired up on my gadget here. And I'm going to be, all right. That always makes the gadget go, what just happened? Oh, Bluetooth. And then I need to go to ukulele, and we are going to play from the Key of C strummers. Where's that? Do I have it still under K? J, H, I, J. I don't have J, K, right? J, K. Morning, Donna. How are ya? What do I call it on on the website? Key of C strummers, don't I? Or does I call it strumming? Maybe. Key of C strummers should be under K, H, I, J, J. It's not there. All right. I know it's on the. I know it's on the front. Ukulele. Isn't that something? Tink, tink, tink. All right, sorry guys. I thought I was set up with my sheet music, and obviously I am not. So let me go here. I got one other place I can find it. Theoretically, what contents is not popping up. Oh Lord, goodness sakes! Let's just go down here. It'll be down here. Who else has wandered in today? Evelyn, welcome. Sound is good. Lighting is good. That makes me happy. Things are going great. All right, we'll start here in just a minute. For some reason, I don't have this in my gadget, and I will save me a minute if I just go ahead and re-download it. So I apologize, guys. I thought this since day 1 of teaching ukulele. You'd think it'd be in my gadget here, but it's not. Dun, dun, dun. Patience, patience. Charlie Roger. No, must be in songs. Dun, dun. Songs. I'll find it. I don't. I know that I own a copy of this. J, uh, J, I, J. Where is it? Where are you? There you are. Oh gosh, crazy. Strummers. And there's the baritone one. I'll need that for today as well. So we'll just get them both while we're here, right? Download ukulele, cloud, Key of C strummers ukulele. Download. Okay. It says overwrite. I know it's in there. That's crazy. I know you're in there. All right. Well, anyway, now I have the latest version, just the same as the version you guys are using. And then let's also back out of here. Loaded this one into baritone. Cloud. Strummers baritone. Download. Okay. Overwrite. So they're both already there. That's crazy. Okay. Get out of here. Go to here. 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 Oh my gosh. Sorry. I thought I was ready to play today. What the heck? HIJ. KFC Strummers. I knew it was there. So, welcome everybody. Q, welcome in. Valerie, in for more. Hi, Bridget. So, we're all here, ready to play. Okay. Um, Today we are going to be working in the key of C. Now, if you took any other ukulele class anywhere on the planet, this is what they start you with. Here you go. La 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 la. And then they have a couple of songs that are sort of dumbed down and set up where the chords work for you so that the first day you can be successful and everybody's happy. The fundamental flaw with that, there are two. Number one, you have to sing, and most of the time, in 80 every single class I give, I always poll the group. I say, how many of you love to sing? And it's about 20%. And how many of you would rather die than sing? And it's about 80%. And so if you are a singer, this is for sure something that's going to be a valuable piece of information. If you are not a singer, all this is going to do is make you smarter at getting your chord shapes together. And we've already worked quite a bit this week on various chord shapes. This is sort of the end of the line for a heavy discussion of how chords are built. And then what we will do is we will move on in your life to much more finger picking. So remember, at the beginning of this week, we played Frere Jacques. And then yesterday we played the key of C scale. And so we're going to be working that. We take that particular style of teaching, which is teaching you melody through the use of tablature. We're going to take that to the final, take you all the way to the top of the line music, playing chords and melody and arpeggios all at the same time. Part of the problem with getting there is you really do have to have a pretty good handle on your chords. And so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to get C, A minor, F, and G as solid as we can, and plus a couple other chord shapes. So before we start on the C, A minor, F, and G, go slide all the way down the bottom of the page number 1, and you'll see you've got Drunken Sailor. Now, guys, if you went to your local ukulele strum along, and if you have one in your neighborhood, go to it. If you don't have one in your neighborhood, start one. You go there, they hand out the chords, and they hand out the lyrics, and hopefully somebody there is a decent enough singer and knows the song, and they're going to lead the group, but they'll be the singer, and everybody else ukulele-wise is just busy plucking away, having a great time. And so that's what we're going to do right now. I want you to build your C chord first. We're going to do Drunken Sailor, so let's talk about doing the easier one first. Don't you hate it when one string is just a little bit out and you're like, something's wrong, but I don't know what. There it is. C chord is here. Okay. Da-dun, da-dun, da-dun. Now, to play Drunken Sailor, we have to get to D minor. So from here, it's not about just take everything off, rethink, put everything back on. That's way too slow. You got to have a strategy for getting from one to the other. So when your C's here, about the time you're ready to change chords, your index finger is poised and ready to go right over here. And then these two guys will jump on. Okay. To get back, lead with your ring finger and take the other two off. So from your ring, index 2 on, ring 2 off. Index 2 on, ring 2 off. On, off. On, off. And I keep dropping my hand down here like you're supposed to do that. You're not supposed to do that. Everything, almost all the time, your fingers are just poised right over the fretboard waiting for the next thing to happen. So from D minor to C to D minor to C to D minor, C, D minor, See, especially when you're a newer player and you're getting your chord shapes, getting teaching your hand to do these things without you spending a whole lot of brain power on them. It does that really. It's not a bad idea to sit. Just don't even play. Just go back and forth between the two chords. Say, "Okay, hands, this is how you're going to be doing this," to make sure that you can get there quickly without a whole ton of thought. That way, when you're busy looking at your paper, your hand has already memorized that little activity there. Okay, so when we play Drunken Sailor, there are 17 verses to Drunken Sailor, 18. There's really 5,000 verses, but I would manage to cull together the majority of them that sounded like they were legit. About 18 verses or so. So if you ever decide, yeah, I want to go goof with Drunken Sailor, send me an email. I'll send you my complete list of all of the Drunken Sailor things. I do think it. I don't think we ever actually did it for Jolly Roger yet, so we might have to do that at some point. Are you counting to four repeatedly if you weren't singing? Are you counting to four repeatedly if you weren't singing? It depends on the song. In this case, I'm four. It's four. It's in four, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4. It's a very effective strategy. It's a little boring, but yeah, when you the reason you would want to do that is that you can then know where your strums are, right? Or your plucks or your arpeggios. It helps keep you in better rhythm. So if I'm supposed to sing, "What shall we do with the drunken sailor?" Now I've plucked four times there. Okay, if I wanted to speed that up and double time it, "What shall we do with the drunken sailor? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and or 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4." So yeah, I think you are. I think in your head you're just counting to yourself to make sure that you know where you are and all of that. I think eventually, what I have found in the beginning, I can't spent no time whatsoever at all counting. I thought that was just one more weird thing that kind of got in my way. And then at some point, I realized, man, counting is really important. I'm going to count everything. And now I think I've come to sort of a middle ground where I don't necessarily. I always count my long notes, but I don't necessarily count the short notes. Or if I know how the piece of music is working, I won't necessarily always count it, but I do think in the beginning, very effective strategy to help you know where you are. So let's go through and play this once or twice and just practice getting from D minor to C, D minor to C. We'll start on D minor. 1, 2, 3, 4. What shall we do with the drunken said change? What shall we do with the drunken go change? What shall we do with the drunken sailor early in the morning? I'm singing too high, I'll go lower. Hooray, and up she rises, hooray, and up she rises. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? Lie in the morning. Hooray, and up she rises, hooray, and up she rises, hooray, and up she rises early in the morning. Okay, so you see I switched from strumming to plucking. You should be able to do that as well, especially on when you're in this folk music style of play where you're just got the chords. The more creative things you can do with your right hand, the more impressive you sound as a ukulele player. A simple strum is fine, but being able to do all of these right hand techniques is going to make you sound much more sophisticated. So, to wit, I'm going to start doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Thumb, index, middle, ring, thumb, index, middle, ring, thumb, index, middle, ring. What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? Early in the morning, hooray, and up she rises, hooray, and up she rises, hooray, and up she rises, early in the morning. Okay, so lots of different ways. This and this are very important in the beginning of your ukulele career to be able to get from this chord to this chord and this chord and this chord. But what will happen over time is you'll get where that's not a big deal. But this section, we really want to get this to not be a big deal where you can strum it. You can strum it with your index finger. You can strum it with pluck it with 4 strings. You can plug it with 3 strings. You can do a 4-finger pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can do a 3-finger pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can do outsides and insides. You can do odds and evens. And these are right-hand techniques you can practice without playing any music. You can just sit with your ukulele. It's quite pleasant, actually, to sit on the couch and just see all of the different patterns you can come up with for playing something like this. If I'm doing something real fancy, what shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? Early in the morning. I mean, it sounds like, oh boy, that guy really knows what he's doing. I'm just doing a weirdo pattern over here that doesn't add up to much of anything, but it sounds really sophisticated. And so now you're using your ukulele and your right hand skills to bring it to what's essentially a pretty common activity, and you will sound better than the guy sitting next to you. Big ass, that helps. I didn't know how many strums to do. I ended up strumming per each word, and that can be a trap, right? Because if you're strumming each word, what shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? Notice now I'm not keeping a steady beat. I'm just doing whatever the words tell me, and I'm going down a rabbit hole with the words, and that's not how music works. Okay, we create the music and usually tack on the words afterwards. Not always, but a lot of times. The Beatles were classic. We're coming up with great melodies and then just start figuring out what some words to go with it. And I think I for sure as a composer follow that routine. I want to have great melodies. I want to have things that work on whatever instrument I'm composing on. And then I got a general sense, oh, this song's going to be about my cat, whatever. I will go ahead and then after I feel like this is what I know the song to be, I'll add in words. Mozart, almost all opera composers that will compose the opera and then hand it over to a librettist who will then add the words. Some cases, and in the most successful music, there's a collaboration there where there's writing the words and the music simultaneously. But what we're really working on in music is not letting the words take us into a weird place. We're working on where is the rhythm. And that's why you'll see on my music, when I put out a song sheet like this, I'll tell you it's 4/4, it's 3/4, or whatever, so that you know, hey, this song has got 4 beats per measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. What shall we do with the drum? Whoops, I'm in the wrong key. What shall we do with the drunken sailor? Now you see my right hand? Steady, 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 steady. Now it's very easy to sing over the top of that. What shall we do with the drunken sailor? Even, 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 diggy la la tell you dun 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 dun. Right, and you can change the words, and you can add in extra scats and all this stuff. Get as crazy as you want. What shall we do with that drunken sailor? What shall we do? That darn drunken sailor, he's a drunk. What are we gonna do to get that drunken sailor? Early, early, early in the morning. And just by having a steady strum, I can then add in anything I want to lyrically. I can even change the melody in that case. But the idea is keep the rhythm steady with your right hand and your chords, and all of a sudden it's pretty easy to sing over the top of stuff like that. Yeah, that's the I would say, Vic, and it's interesting you bring it up when people come to me and they say, "Hey, I need some private lessons. I want to learn how to play ukulele," and then I find out, oh, they really like singing. What their real problem is they're strumming with their singing, and you don't want to do that. You want to strum with the rhythm, and then you sing over the top of your strumming, and all of a sudden, I have fixed more singers than I can count of people coming in and say, I just can't sing and strum at the same time. Yeah, that's because you're trying to sing and strum at the same time. Strum and then sing on top of that beat is what you need to do. All right, now waltzing Matilda. Let's go through these chords. Our home planet for ukulele players in the real world who play normal ukulele. You got to grab your C chord. That should be a part of who you are. Okay, once a jolly. Okay, and then next chord up is gonna ruin your life. So let's just get it over with. Index finger on the top string, middle finger on the bottom string. They're both in the second fret, and then ring finger right out there. Now, when you first start, this is a very unpleasant little chord, G chord. We all hate it. It's why I don't teach C chord right off the bat, because this chord sucks. Okay, it will get where it's no big deal. I have way worse chords than this one coming, but this is early on. This can be a real bummer. Now, if you guys are going to go out, some of you guys have been through this once or twice. You're going to teach other people to play ukulele. You're going to see once about 30% of the time people are going to put these two upside down, index finger on the bottom, middle finger on top, ring here. Do not let them do that. You know it's going to ruin their life down the road. It feels very comfortable though when you're playing and you're like, oh, there's my G chord. Okay, we can't let them do that. They have to do this one. They have to, and it involves a little bit more complex thinking. But the other chords surrounding this chord are going to not be happy that your hand is in this position. Okay, index finger on top. That's true of all chords. Middle finger underneath, and ring finger out in front. Okay, there's your G chord. Swagman is our next one. Then we're going to go to an A minor chord. That's this one right here. Okay, that one's not too bad. Middle finger on top. Campesida, and then you're going to get your F chord right here. Okay, so don't take your middle finger. For the most part, try not to take any fingers off moving to your next chord unless you really, really have to. So if I've got this on and I'm going to go to an F, I don't even have to move this at all. I just add that on, F. Billabong, next chord is a C chord. Okay, under the shade of a, and then put your G chord on. This is the one that'll be a bummer today. Okay, Kulibatri, and he, back to the C chord. Sang as he, and then back to the G chord again. Sat, and he, grab your A minor, waited till his, and you got an F chord again. Billy Boyle, go down to the C chord. You'll come a waltzing ma, grab your G chord. Tilda with, and then a C chord. Me, waltzing Matilda, grab your F chord. Waltzing Matilda, go back to your C chord. You'll come a waltzing ma, and then grab your G chord. Tilda with me, and he, C chord. Sang as he, G chord. Sat, and he, A minor, waited till his F chord. Billy Boyle, C chord. You'll come a waltzing ma, G chord. Hilda with me. So that's what we're going to be playing. Q asks, explain the G chord once again. Okay. Hey. Hey. All right. So G chord. You're holding it here. Index finger is almost always going to lead when you're planting a new chord. Index finger, third string, second fret. Okay. Take a minute to get that feeling. underneath that in the second string on the first fret is your G chord, or I'm sorry, your middle finger. Okay, so you got those two fingers, both in the second fret, third string, first string. Okay, and then your ring finger just reaches up to the third fret, second string. Okay, and again, I know when you're new, this chord is not that much fun. Okay, but it'll go away. You believe me, we have way worse chords than this one coming. Okay, and that's what we're looking at for your G chord. Okay, hopefully that's helpful. You've got your little diagram on the sheet music up here, sheet music, the song sheet. And again, if you get confused about what you're supposed to do, hold your ukulele up to the chords just like this, just as if you're going to look at it and you got your chords back here. And then it says, okay, I got a black dot here. All right, I'll put my finger there, turn around, C chord. Next one, all right, I got an A minor. I got to put my middle finger up here, turn around, ready to play. Okay, F chord, just add your dot here. Okay, and G chord, of course, the toughest one of the day. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so when you first learn G chord, it's going to be a little bit of a bummer to get it on. And we have to, in this song, we have to get it on a lot. That's why I have this song here. Now, most of you guys are not from Australia. We have, when we first started doing these online classes, Janice, who is from Australia, started joining us. And the day that I had to sing Waltzing Matilda, I'm like, Janice, I am so sorry. I'm about to sing your song, and I'm a terrible singer. So we did it all, and at the end, she goes, you did fine. So hopefully I will do fine today for you. Hey, Christine, late but here. Made it. Just in under the wire. Getting ready. We're on the key of C strummers, Christine. We are getting ready to play Waltzing Matilda. We have run over the four main chords: C chord, A minor chord, F chord, and of course G chord. Okay. Now I'm going to do the introduction. And normally I make a joke. I say, okay, I'll do the intro. I'll set the speed, and then we will play all of the verses. And then I play the intro really fast, and it's hilarious every time because they're like, oh God, right? But we're going to play all four verses nice and slow. If you blow a G, don't give up. Okay. You messed up the G, whatever. Get your C chord on and wait for us to catch up with you. The hardest part here is it's easy to get lost in this sea of words, and that's never not going to be the situation when you go to a ukulele group. Is that you will you'll sit down, there'll be songs you've never heard of before, you'll be busy working on your chords, you'll get lost in the songs, and if you just be like, well, I'll just wait for the next song, that's not helpful, right? You know C chords kind of be coming back around here a little bit. Find your place in the music, get your C chord on, find the next C chord that's coming up, and wait for us to catch up to you. Okay, I'm going to go nice and slow on the first verse, and then I'll speed it up a little on the second, then we'll speed it up a little on the third, then we'll play at full speed on verse 4, and then at the you have the big finish, which we play louder, right? It's a big finish, we got to play loud, and then when you get to the end, you got your tremolo, and we talked about this when we were doing the little book, the key of A book. You're going to take this hand, bend this over, leave your fingers out, up and down. All from the wrist, nothing from the elbow. That's how we'll finish. Okay? From the top, I'm going to go slow at first, and then we'll speed it up. Let me play the intro. 1, 2, here we go. Once a jolly swag man camped beside a billabong under the shade of a coolibah tree, and he sang as he sat, and he waited till his billy boiled. You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. Waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda, you'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. And he sang as he sat, and he waited till his belly boiled. You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. Okay, now I'm going to pick up the speed a little bit. I want, instead of doing a strum, I want you to do a pluck. All four strings, all four fingers. One, two, ready, play. Down came a jumbuck to drink beside the billabong. Up jumped the swagman and grabbed him with glee, and he sang as he stowed that jumbuck in his tucker bag. You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. Waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda, you'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. And he sang as he stowed that jumbuck in his tucker bag. You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. Okay, next strum pattern. Let's just do thumb. Okay. If you already did thumb on the first one, then do your index finger instead. I did index finger the first time. So this one, if you did index finger the first time, switch to your thumb. If you did thumb the first time, switch to your index finger. Get that. Okay, verse 3, a little bit faster now. Okay. I'm on thumb. 1, 2, ready, go. Up jumped the squatter, mounted on his thoroughbred. Down came the troopers, 1, 2, 3, saying, where's that jolly jumbuck you've got inside your tucker bag? You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. Waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda, you'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. And he sat where sun jumbuck you've got inside your tucker bag. Sorry, I blew it. You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. Okay, so I lost my spot. You ever lost your spot when you're strumming along? It's possible. I just did it. Um, yeah. Now we have done. Hopefully, you've done index finger strumming, multiple finger plucking, thumb strum. Verse 4, pick whatever system makes the most sense to you. I'm going to arpeggio it. I'm going to do thumb, index, middle, ring. Up, jump the swagman. Okay. And by the way, this is a song where some of the words are not familiar to us as Americans. It basically what is going on. There's a hobo. He's dancing around the fireplace, waltzing with Matilda. Then Jumbuck comes down. It's a little goat. Grabs that little goat and stuffs him in a bag. And then they're sort of dancing around, wrestling. And then the cops show up and they're dancing around, wrestling in a different way. And dumbest line of music. Where's that jolly jumbuck you've got inside your tucker bag? Well, it's in the tucker bag. That's where it is. And then verse 4, our hobo is going to jump in the lake and kill himself. Which seems a tiny bit of an overreaction, but that's what's going to happen. And then his ghost will be dancing around on the pond that he jumps into. Okay, remember when we get to the end, we're going to tremolo. Pick any type of strumming pattern that's comfy for you. Finger picking pattern again. The one we did, verse 2, was just all four. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can also just do the thumb down. You can do your index finger up and down, whichever makes you happy. I'm going to do an arpeggio, which is going to be thumb, index, middle, index, starting on the C string. Dun. That's what I'm going to try. Okay, let's get it going. Let me get it started at the right spot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up jumped the swagman and camped. Let me start again. I was playing too slow. Up. Let me get a C chord on. 1 and 2 and ready, play. Up jumped the swagman. He sprang into the billabong. You'll never catch me alive. Splash. And his ghost may be heard as you pass along that billabong. You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. Waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda. You'll come a waltzing pass along that billabong, you'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. Nice and loud here. Waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda, you'll come a waltzing Matilda with me, and his ghost may be heard as you pass along that billabong. You'll come a waltzing Matilda with tremolo me. Okay. Kind of blew the ending a little bit. Started getting into baritone brain for some reason, and so my chords started showing up in the wrong shapes. But if it were me and I was learning to play ukulele and I was still on that uptick of, gosh, everything seems super hard, I'd spend a lot of time on this one particular song because it teaches you to get from C to A minor to F to G, and you're going to be doing that a lot in your ukulele career. So get it out of the way early. Just sing through the song a few times. You don't even have to sing it that well, right? Just get once a jolly swagman camped beside a bong under the shade of a coolabah tree, and he sang as he sat and he waited till his billy boiled. Just that kind of stuff, just to get your chords shapes. When you see an F, boom, your fingers are on there. When you see an A minor, you're there. Let's run through the 4 chords up at the top one last time before we give you a little bit of marching orders here. Your C chord, make sure that's who you are. Then go to the A minor. Don't just add your middle finger and lightly lift off your ring finger. Okay. Don't make any changes after the A minor. Just add your index finger to get to F. And then go to G chord. It's your hard one of the day. And then start all over. C, 2, 3, 4, A minor, 2, 3, 4, and F. It is fun, huh, Christine? And off to G, and that's your hard chord. We can write a song with these 4 chords, and people will think we know what we're doing, even really we're just 4 chords that Gary gave to us. It's amazing how every song from 1957 involved this chord progression. It never fails to serve Duke, 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 Duke of Earl, Duke, Duke, Duke of Earl, Duke, Duke. Change the melody if you want. C, 2, 3, 4, A minor, 2, 3, 4, and F, 2, 3, 4. I wish G was easier to get to. 3, 4. One last time we'll go through it. Makes us feel like a rock star playing up at Red Rocks. Red Rocks is west of here. It's a really great arena. There you go. All right, so you notice we did that exact same goofy activity with A, F sharp, D, and E7 earlier this week with the A strummers. Now you have it the same exact thing with C strummers. Works just exactly the same. It's math is what's going on there. Q asks, when you strum or tremolo with your index finger, do you strum with the top of the fingernail or the side or in between? Top of your nail. So if you're trying to strum with the side of your nail, you're going to get stuck in between the strings. It's really not a good thing. So the face of my nail is almost always facing more down toward the ground. Okay, so it's really facing like this. You do not want it facing up here because you'll get stuck in between your strings. Okay, so basically down. And then I'm really using sort of a twisting and bending motion from my wrist and nothing from the elbow. Sometimes I see people trying to tremolo with their wrists and it won't work. Valerie, I got your Duke of Earl. Yeah, changing chords smoothly, that's something that takes a little while. And we, as new players, we have this tendency to be like, all right, there's a C chord. Okay, now I got to get my F chord. And then I got to get my G chord on, right? We get this a little bit of this panic of yank everything off, put everything on, right? Off, on. When really, a lot of times, part of the, especially like A minor, your chords are already hanging out there. You just add a finger, and so less work is more. Let's talk about the rest of the book real quick. Rest of your sheet. You have on your paper. You have Kookaburra. Okay, I'll give you just the first melody and first measure. If you're a Girl Scout, you know the song. If you're not a Girl Scout, you've never heard the song. Kookaburra sits in the old gum tree. Merry, merry king of the bushes he. Laugh, Kookaburra, laugh. Kookaburra gay your life must be. Okay, so those four chords, the only difference is instead of G, which is the harder version of that, I give you G7, which is the easier version of that. This Friday, which is tomorrow, we're going to play this one all the way through. This might be a fun one to practice on. F chord, I'm sorry, C chord, A minor chord, F chord, G7, C. Okay. I also have You Are My Sunshine up here. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. Make me happy when skies are gray. You never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't, G7, take my sunshine away. Okay, and there's 3 verses. 2 are very happy and fun, and 1 is very sad. And then you also have Danny Boy on here, another one that lots of people know. Oh, Danny Boy, the pipes are calling from glen to glen and down the mountainside. The summer's gone and all the roses falling. It's you must go and I must buy. Okay, so Danny Boy's on there for you as well. We'll try to play through a bunch of those tomorrow and make sure that things are going well. Let's see. Q says, going back up, I kind of get the finger stuck between the strings. Yeah, your finger gets stuck between the strings, right? If you don't have this properly positioned. So when you are going down, make sure your finger, the face of your fingernails, and then when you come up, don't do this, right? Let your finger straighten up, and you drag it that way. So down and up, down and up. Fingernail pad, fingernail pad. And so your fingers are actually doing this kind of activity. Okay, it'll be working. Marilyn Q asked, were you a Girl Scout? For one day, I was a Girl Scout. One day, they invited me down to the Girl Scout camp. They had a big one down south here in Castle Pines, I think is where it is, or Castle Rock, one of the castles down there. Big Girl Scout camp. And a few years ago, they invited me down to teach them all ukulele. We had a blast. It was super fun. And there's a picture of me sitting on a tennis court with this giant sea of curls around me. And we're just strumming away. Everybody's having a great time. It was a super fun day. And we took 2 or 3 people from the orchestra down there. And so we played Girl Scout songs, and it was great on ukulele. All right, before we get out of here today, we got 5 minutes. I want you to, those of you guys that are working at the next level, remember you have 2 other songs for the week that you are putting together. I want to look at After the Ball very quickly. Go to your After the Ball. Now, tomorrow when we play it, we will play this all 3 ways. After the ball is over. Okay, that's just your chords. After the break of dawn. After the dancers leaving. After the stars are gone. Okay, so practice playing it with just your chords. It's 3 beats per measure in that case. After the ball is over. Okay, so you got 3 beats instead of 4. Also practice the melody line. Okay, and if you guys are brand new, you don't need to do that yet. You will do that, but it's this next level thinking. And then, of course, everything that I do will end up with tough uke, which is. Okay, So you're going to pick your way to attack after the ball tomorrow when we play it. We will play all three ways, so don't forget to practice that one a little bit today or tomorrow morning, more likely, right, as you're warming up for our Friday concert. The other song that I want to, yeah, Melissa, you should have been there. Honestly, it was a hoot. I'm sitting there. I'm the leader, right? I'm going to show you girls how to play ukulele, and they're just running me like nobody's business. And I will never forget that photo. Every now and then it pops up on my computer when I'm sitting there and kind of in the middle, and then there's this huge circle around me. And all these girls are just having a great time playing ukulele. It was a blast. All right, so that's ain't after the ball, and then Alouetta, which I want to talk very briefly about because it's important. What's on the paper are F and C7, right? Alouetta, gentil Alouetta, Alouetta, gentil plumerie. Okay, so that's F and C7. But you have two other sets that you now know as well. You can play it with A and E7 from the little book. Alouette, gentil Alouette, Alouette, gentil plumerie. J'en plumerai la tête, j'en plumerai la tête, et la tête, et la tête, Alouette, Alouette, oh, 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 oh. Okay, so you can play it with A and E7. You also, using today's chords, can play it with C and G7. Alouette, gentille Alouette, Alouette, gentil plumerai. Okay, how I know that is that A is using that circle of fifths. We're going to talk about that a little bit tomorrow while we're doing that. Circle of fifths will be an ongoing discussion that I want those of you guys that are next level players to start to come to terms with. So make sure you have your circle of fifths with you tomorrow so we can just double check that everything's going well with that. Also, Alouetta, play the melody. And even if you're brand new, if you just started with Frere Jacques, you should be able to play this one. Okay, and then obviously those of you guys who've been around a little while, you know that tough uke is where the good stuff is. So you're going to play this. And that's what you're working on there. You only have two chords in that one, so the chord melody piece is not brutal. And we go back to these little bit easier songs when we're dialing in our toolbox, right? So you probably know, if you've been through this one time, you already know what tough uke is. Your job is to see, hey, can I take the skills that I've been working on and get it to sound a little cleaner, a little prettier, a little more impassioned about that alouette, about that raven that we're about to murder because it's too noisy. And so that's what we're all working on, is moving in that direction. Okay, Christine, where would I find the sheet music? It's all on the front page of jollyrogerukulele.com. That's where you need to go. Everything's on the front page. There's also a tab called ukulele, and the same exact tab exists for baritone ukulele over there. So go grab those. All of the sheet music for everything I do is I pretty much you can launch from jollyrogerukulele.com. So that'll get you what you need. So Friday, tomorrow, what time is it? Just enough time to give you a pep talk. Tomorrow we are playing Frere Jacques. We are playing a few of the songs from the book, the little booklet in A. Okay, we are playing we will play a couple of the songs out of today's worksheet, the Key of C Strummers. We will play a C major scale tomorrow. That's what we talked about yesterday, making sure that your scales are starting to mean something. We will play After the Ball in 3 different ways, and Alouette in 3 different ways. And then we also warm up with your Make a Better Bar worksheet, and we'll play from the Circle of Fifths. Or we'll discuss the Circle of Fifths a little bit. So we have plenty to do tomorrow. What I want you to do is get here and be here on time, because I need to start right exactly at 5 after to get all that in. And be warmed up, ready to play, have your sheet music in great shape. And tomorrow is your first concert. Okay, so we have lots of different ways to play tomorrow. Again, our big focus is to get you all of the tools to play ukulele in all of the possible ways. In the end, all I really want you to be able to do is play fingerstyle, but I teach you all the other stuff too because that all informs and feeds the fingerstyle play. So that's it. That's what I know for today. You guys have a wonderful afternoon. Go out and do some good. Be safe while you're doing it. In other words, don't talk to anybody while you're out there. Uh, um, Practice a little bit. It's going to make you a better player. And keep showing up here. I promise to make you a great player if you keep showing up. And some money back guarantee. And then subscribe and like if you haven't over here on the website, you know, the YouTube thing. And I will see all of you guys tomorrow. You, Melissa, you're welcome. Linda, Christine, awesome. Should have remembered that. Yeah, yeah. Should have remembered. Yeah, you should have Matt JollyRogerUkulele.com memorized. That's something that should be a bookmark on your computer. And all right, guys, have a wonderful day. I'll see you tomorrow. Practice, and if you want to come, we're finishing up the Harry Potter medley in the next hour's class. So it's really hard playing, but it's really going to be a cool piece when it's all put together. So come play that with us too. I'll see all of you guys all y'all later today or tomorrow. Have a good night.